Hey guys, we're going to talk about one of the resources we're going to use this year, and it's called Google Sheets. It's part of your Google Drive suite, and it's a really good resource. I want to show you how to navigate it, and we're going to do our budget project on this Google Sheets. So you can pull up a Google Sheets anywhere. You would just go to New, and it would pull down your choices. So let's just take a look. In Google Sheets, I would open one up, do a blank spreadsheet. And we'll just create and share. So this is a Google Sheet. What a spreadsheet does, it's a calculator. And much like any calculator, it's going to do exactly what you tell it to do. And so you have here different cells, and each cell will have a name. So this cell right here would be named by its column and then its row. So this cell would be A1, and this would be B1. And if I wanted to go to C4, I would go to C4, and that would be the name of this cell. And so we're going to be using this type of spreadsheet for our project. So let's actually pull up the template that I'm going to be providing you through Schoology on our budget project. So it looks a lot like this. If you find that you can't actually type anything in the fields, that's because you're looking at the original document, which you cannot edit. So I need you to save it to your Google Drive, and you're going to save it with your last name and then first name, and you're going to put BP for budget project. And you're going to save that once again in your Google Drive. So we have here the directions, so please refer to the directions, and please feel free to come back to this video as many times as you need to follow those directions. So you're going to be taking these different information, this different information from the project and placing it in these fields. Now the first three in blue are actually not part of the budget project, but they're just really good practice to show you how a spreadsheet is going to work. So you'll follow the directions, input 2 for the times paid, so you'll come over here, this is times paid, and you're going to put 2. Now I've designed this sheet that if you are correct, it'll turn green. If it stays white, then it's not the correct value for that cell. So then it says this is the coefficient, and we're going to put 3 for the cost, the variable. And so we're going to put that here. All right, and that is going to be the cost. Hey, it's green, so I must have been correct. And then where it says total cost, we're going to put an equation. And actually, I'm going to go back and change that because that should say expression. I know you know that, but we're going to say it's an expression starting with an equal sign, and then the expression will follow. So I'm going to, as you can see, it says put in, this cell is going to equal 2 times my variable. Now, how you're going to use a variable in a spreadsheet is you are going to use a cell or call a cell for your variable. Now, to do multiplication, we have a couple of symbols. And for multiplication, we're going to be using that one right there, the little star or shift 8. And that's going to say to multiply. Then we're going to use our variable. But I'm not going to put in 3 because I want to be able to change the variable amount because variables can change. And I'm going to put C3. And if I did that correctly, I'm going to hit enter. And sure enough, there it is. It says 2 times whatever the value is in C3, which is 3, equals 6, and that's true. And if I did it correctly, I should be able to come here and change my variable to anything and say, oh, look, okay, although this isn't green anymore because I told you to put 3, this is 10 because it's the result of taking this coefficient and the variable and multiplying it together. So I'm going to go back and change that to 3 because I'm sure it's bothering some people that it's not green anymore. So these 3 are practice problems or questions for the spreadsheet. They're not part of your budget project once again. Your budget project starts down here. And you're going to take the information from each of these situations and place it where it belongs. So we have here the mortgage, and you're going to put the times paid here. You have your variable. Now the variable is going to come from this area here. And then your total cost is going to be made with an expression. Now the expressions you've already created. We did an activity called Expressions in Personal Finance, which I'm going to pull up, and you wrote these expressions. And sure enough, you should have 12M for the expression for your mortgage. Now, once again, M is the variable for this situation, but this program here is not going to understand what an M is. So this is where you put in your variable amount. So whatever the mortgage is or the M value is from your sheet, you're going to put here. In this case, it's going to be $1,500. And sure enough, that's correct because it turned green. Over here, you're going to put an expression. The expression you pulled up from here, 12M. So it should be equals 12 times, don't forget to use times, and then I'm not going to put M because it doesn't know what M is, but it does know where M came from. M came from this cell right here, C6. So do not put $1,500 in, put C6. Now, it says $1,800 because this is going to end up being 12, and that's how it gets that $1,800. Now, I'll know if you end up putting in manually $1,800 here because if I go and do what's called a cheat check, this will no longer be green. And what a cheat check is going to be is what happens if your mortgage isn't $1,500. So let's say for a minute I change this and I actually just put in $1,800. And it's green because, it says $1,800. However, if I come and change my mortgage to $2,000 because I have a much nicer home, that's no longer going to be correct. Now I understand this isn't green any longer because I told you to put $1,500 in, but if I did this correctly, this would still be green. And it's not because I manually put in $1,800. So I'm going to erase that and actually put what I was supposed to, and that is 12 times, got to use my times, C6. And now it's correct again because I wrote an expression, and you can see the expression up here in the top left corner. That's the correct expression. All right, so you're going to be completing this spreadsheet based on the information given to you here and the expressions that you found and created, once again, on your expressions in personal finance. As far as the operators you're going to use or the operations, you'll be using things like plus for addition, you'll be using things like subtraction, you'll be using multiplication, and if you need to divide, you can use a backslash for division. Now, of course, you never see those 4 operations because, hey, we cannot do this operation because that's not how it works. But I'm just showing you those are the symbols you will use for this project. Now, once again, variables from your activity sheet can't be put in here. You'll instead use a cell number or call up a cell, it's called, for that variable. So for instance, if my property taxes here were going to be $500, then over here when I use it in my expression, I'm going to be putting in C7 for the variable portion of my expression. I want you to go ahead and finish the practice up here because it will help you be prepared for this project. And we'll be working with it over the next couple of days. However, please come back to this video if you're finding any issues in your work. I appreciate your time. Thank you guys, and good luck on the budget project.